Good evening and welcome to your Friday, August 23, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. APNU+AFC'S Green State Strategy earned not a cent. JAGDEO contrasts with visionary LCDS. Government injects US $400 million into GastoEnergy Project as it awaits loan approval. Government will not regularize new squatting areas, says Minister Rodrigues. Guyana-China Friendship Jova Park project unmatched in Caribbean, says INDAR, and driver dies after car crashes into bridge rail, 4 others injured. Now for the news in detail. Vice President Dr. JAGDEO has lambasted the opposition for its continued criticism of the government's visionary low-carbon development strategy, which is earning millions of dollars that is being pumped into projects aimed at environmental sustainability. In fact, the Vice President compared the LCDS with the former government's Green State Development Strategy, which he reminded achieved nothing. Here is Vanu Manikchand with our lead story tonight.
In an effort to ensure that indigenous communities continue to benefit generously from the lucrative US $750 million carbon credits deal with Hess Corporation, which was signed in December 2022, the government will be increasing the share going to these communities in 2024 to 26.5%. This will see the respective communities benefiting from some US $23.2 million this year. These earnings were made possible under the government's revised low-carbon development strategy. However, the opposition continues to be critical of the LCDS, with some arguing that the Amar Indians should get more money. But Vice President Dr. JAGDEO has hit back, noting that during their time in office, the Granger-led administration achieved nothing as significant.
That's 1,600 projects conceptualized by these communities, implemented by these communities for the benefit of these communities from funds provided through the LCDS that would not have been there had APNU been in power, because they launched a Green State strategy that did not have any earning potential. And so when Norton said, oh, there's been a call for 50% of the resources now, he probably would have given 50%. 50% of zero is zero, because under the Green State strategy, in five years, there aren't not a cent.
In fact, JAGDEO reminded that prior to 2015, the first edition of the LCDS was earning revenue for Guyana.
We earned $250 million. It came down to $220 million because of this slowth of implementation. We left the money with them. They tried to block it. We left it with them. They did nothing in the 5 years. We came back in. In the first 2 years, we worked hard. We launched this document. We got our forest certified. We traded 30% of our forest carbon, and we earned this money.
Meanwhile, during his press conference on Friday, leader of the People's National Congress, Aubrey Norton, whose party was the largest political force in government from 2015 to 2020, was asked about the benefits of the Green State Development Strategy compared to the LCDS.
I think it is unwise, for the want of a better word, to ask what did the Green Paper, or no, sorry, the Green State Development Strategy achieve, when it is well known that the document was completed to the end of our term, and it wasn't a case of it being implemented for a number of years, so the benefit would have derived.
Norton also said if elected into government, his party would re-embrace the Green State strategy.
We will embrace the Green strategy, but times would have changed, which means we will have to revisit it. And in revisiting it, we will then determine what elements we move forward with, what new ones we put.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
Even as Guyana awaits the approval of a U.S. $650 million loan from the U.S. Export-Import Bank to fund the highly anticipated GastoEnergy Project, Vice President Dr. JAGDEO has disclosed that government has already spent some U.S. $400 million on the initiative and could potentially fund the entire project if the loan does not come through. Here is Vanu Manikchand again with the details.
We have on this project, which is slated to complete next year, it's $761 million for the NGL facility and also the power plant. So we have from our own resources so far, because of the delay in the loan, we have from our own resources paid about $400 million US. So more than half of the project from our own resources.
That was Vice President Dr. JAGDEO at his recent press conference, where he explained that the aim was to borrow US $650 million from the US Exim Bank to fund the US $761 million GastoEnergy initiative. Government was expected to put up US $100 million to support the initiative, but with Guyana already injecting more than half of the project costs into advancing it, JAGDEO said this augurs well for the country.
So that's even better for us. The loan from Exim Bank, we can get reimbursed for it because the way it's structured. But just to tell you that the project will be done, and we are, even if it means carrying it from our own budget. And the country should even be happy with this, that we managed to carry that from our own budget and still do all the other developments we're talking about.
Nevertheless, the Vice President remains confident that the loan will be approved by the U.S. Exim Bank.
Minister Ashney Singh will be going to Washington soon, and so he'll be meeting with the executives there.
Guyana applied last year to the U.S. Exim Bank for the loan to fund the GastoEnergy Project, which includes an NGL facility and a 300-megawatt power plant that is slated to come on stream in the first half of 2025. Back in June, a technical team from the U.S. financial institution was in Guyana and completed technical and environmental assessments. President Dr. Irfan Ali had subsequently said that there were no fatal flaws arising from those assessments and that the loan should be approved in the coming months. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
While noting that the government has made tremendous efforts over the past 4 years in regularizing existing squatting areas, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodrigues, has warned that any new squatting areas that pop up will not be regularized. Kelroy Williams reports.
Speaking during a recent broadcast of the Guyana Dialogue was Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodrigues. Rodrigues highlighted that according to a study done in 1990, there were over 200 squatting areas identified in the country. In this regard, she reveals that the government over the years has made significant strides towards regularizing these areas.
We found approximately 200 squatter settlements across the length and breadth of Guyana. And there's a report to that effect. During the tenure of the People's Progressive Party Civic from the 90s to present day, we have regularized about 175 of those just over 200 communities.
However, the minister noted that the establishment of new squatting settlements within the country will not be tolerated by the government.
There are areas that keep popping up around the country sometimes with squatters, and we have the unpleasant task of removing those people, especially when they are located in a zero tolerance area. But we have been very clear that we are not tolerating any new squatting. So if a new area was to pop up overnight somewhere across the country, that area would not be regularized because we really need to put an end to squatting. Squatting is illegal.
According to the minister, with the government's current aggressive housing drive, there is no need for persons to turn to squatting.
With the extensive nature of the housing drive and our target of distributing 50,000 house lots in our first term in office, there really is no need for Guyanese to go and squat and live in inhumane conditions without water and electricity and so on.
Kelroy Williams, The Evening News.
Coming up, government continues to ensure full compliance with Amar Indian Act, says AG, and 67 new housing areas created countrywide in 4 years, says Minister Rodrigues. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Over 205,000 school-aged children benefit from a $45,000 Because We Care cash grant and uniform voucher. This initiative helps parents ensure their children have the tools needed for education. Oil and gas revenue makes up 29% of the 2024 budget.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Introducing Jumbo Jet Auto Sales, your exclusive dealer for XCMG and Cinetruck. Only 20% down payment on all HOO Cinetrucks and 30% down payment on all XCMG with 6 to 24 months financing available. The only authorized dealer of XCMG and Cinetruck in Guyana. Various sizes in motor graders to excavators, compactors to skid steers, and wheel loaders. Not forgetting our amphibious. We have a wide selection of XCMG machinery to meet your needs. Explore our range of Cinetruck dumpers, including 8x4 twin steer, all-terrain 6x6, 6x4 models, and more. Plus, check out our cement mixers in 8x4 and 6x4 configurations. Drop by our various showrooms located at East Bank, Land of Canaan, Eccles, our head office in Georgetown, Ogle, and in Berbice, Chester, and Bushlot. Only 20% down payment on all HOO Cinetrucks and 30% down payment on all XCMG with 6 to 24 months financing available. Contact us on 225-8255, 232-0633, 233-3101, or 328-2802. Jumbo Jet Trucks and Auto.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A woman is now dead while 4 others, including a child, are injured following a car crash which occurred at around 4 hours today along the number 43 public road in Currentine, Berbice. Dead is 34-year-old Melina Stephen, a resident of Roxanne Burnham Gardens in Georgetown, who was driving motorcar PAF 8289 with 4 occupants aged 9, 28, 41, and 54. Police reported that the vehicle was proceeding at a fast rate when the driver lost control and crashed into a bridge. bridge rail. As a result of the collision, the driver was pinned in the vehicle and was subsequently taken out in an unconscious condition by members of the fire service and escorted to the Skeldon Public Hospital, where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Meanwhile, the occupants of the car were taken out in conscious conditions by public-spirited citizens and taken to the Port Morant Public Hospital, where they were later referred to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital. There, the 9-year-old was admitted for observation. The 54-year-old and 28-year-old were also admitted, suffering fractures to the leg and pelvis, respectively. The 41-year-old was also admitted, suffering from injuries to his chest. Nevertheless, their conditions are regarded as stable. Investigations are in progress. Addressing the National Tushaus Council Conference yesterday, Attorney General Anil Nandlao delved into the Amar Indian Act 2006 and reminded indigenous peoples of the wide range of rights they are entitled to by law. As we hear in this Michael Henry report, the Attorney General also reminded that since its enactment, the PPP administration has always ensured full compliance with the legislation.
Since 2006, we as a government, we were not in office from 2015 to 2020, but from 2006 to 2015 and from 2020 to now, we have ensured that this law is faithfully complied with.
That was Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs on Thursday addressing Amerindian leaders at the conference of the National Tushaus Council on the Amar Indian Act of 2006.
Take, for example, and you know it more than I do, the way that your Tushau Council used to be pre-planned for you when the other government was in power. They scrapped, in one case, it was made public. When you came up with your agenda, they tore it up and they gave you an agenda.
Among other things, the Act outlines how Amerindian villages ought to be governed. It also deals with critical issues such as land rights. In fact, Nandlal reminded the Amerindian leaders that it is only with their permission that someone can enter their village, a right which is enshrined in the legislation. In this regard, the Attorney General emphasized the importance of Amerindians themselves understanding the law.
Unless you know the law and you read it, you understand it, then people will take advantage of you and of your communities.
The government had announced its intention to revise and update the Amerindian Act of 2006, with some $10 million being set aside in 2022 to begin consultations. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
As the government continues to work aggressively to meet its target of distributing 50,000 house lots within its first term in office, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Suzanne Rodrigues, has provided an update on the progress, including sharing some insights into the new housing areas that have been developed so far. Michael Henry tells us more.
From August 2020 to now, 67 new housing areas have been created across the country within the PPP administration's first 4 years in office. This was revealed by Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water Suzanne Rodrigues during a recent interview on the Guyana Dialogue program.
For Region 3, which is one of the newest areas, is at Wales. So we have started our infrastructure work there, and there's going to be thousands of people that will be allocated lands in Wales in Region 3. And in Region 4, we continued our allocations on the East Coast in several areas like Nusignan and Nomprel and Enterprise. We keep extending these areas and going further and further at the back that will eventually, some way along the way, join with the East Bank.
She also highlighted the Silica City development, for which the master plan was recently unveiled at the Building Expo. From these new housing areas, just over 36,000 house lots have been allocated. Meanwhile, outside of these areas, lands have been allocated for the development of private gated communities.
So they are fully responsible for the infrastructure development of those gated communities. So there's no public spending in that regard. We allocate the land. They have to pay the ministry for the land. That is not subsidized either. So we don't subsidize land that is allocated for commercial or industrial purpose. They pay a market price for that. We are only obligated to give them access to that land, and they do all of the development within that area in terms of road network and drains and utilities. And then they are allowed to sell those lands and process their own certificates of title to people who want to purchase land in those areas.
Asked whether the government exercises any oversight over these private developments, the minister said it is largely left to the discretion of the developers.
But of course, if you are a private developer and you're building a home that will be resold, you have to, if you're installing the electrical network, for example, you have to get a certificate of inspection from the Ministry of Public Works. And that's just one example where you have to involve agencies or authorities, public authorities.
Michelle Henry, The Evening News.
Works are progressing on the U.S. $12 million Jova Park modernization project on the west bank of Demerara, which is being funded by the Chinese government to mark Guyana and China's celebration of 50 years of diplomatic ties. Minister within the Public Works Ministry, Deodat INDAR, who is leading the initiative, conducted a site visit earlier today to inspect the ongoing works being executed by the Qijian Group Coal Limited from the Shandong province in China. Joined by the contractor, technical officials, and representatives from the Protected Areas Commission, INDAR noted the PPPC government is working with the contractor to deliver a park that is unmatched anywhere in the Caribbean. Works on the park commenced last year and was slated to be completed in January 2026. But during today's visit, Minister INDAR disclosed that government is eager to have this project completed and is working with the contractor to move forward the deadline to the end of 2025. The minister had since asked the contractor to extend their working hours in order to accelerate the project. The US $12 million modern recreational space under construction is the brainchild of President Dr. Irfan Ali, and it will accommodate a basketball court, tennis court, football field, an elevated walkway through trees, and a roundabout with a fountain, among other key features. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Saturday, August 24, 2024 at 6:30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Burbisford Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 7:35 on Saturday, August 24, 2024, also for 1.5 hours.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Introducing Jumbo Jet Auto Sales, your exclusive dealer for XCMG and Sinotruck. Only 20% down payment on all HOO Sinotrucks and 30% down payment on all XCMG with 6 to 24 months financing available. The only authorized dealer of XCMG and Sinotruck in Guyana. Various sizes in motor graders to excavators, compactors to skid steers, and wheel loaders. Not forgetting our amphibious. We have a wide selection of XCMG machinery to meet your needs. Explore our range of Sinotruck dumpers, including 8x4 twin steer, all-terrain 6x6, 6x4 models, and more. Plus, check out our cement mixers in 8x4 and 6x4 configurations. Drop by our various showrooms located at East Bank, Land of Canaan, Eccles, our head office in Georgetown, Ogle, and in Berbice, Chester, and Bushlot. Only 20% down payment on all Ho-Oh Sinotrucks and 30% down payment on all XCMG with 6 to 24 months financing available. Contact us on 225-8255, 232-0633, 233-3101, or 328-2802. Jumbo Jet Trucks and Auto.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Did you know Gyro's Super 95 gasoline has an octane rating of 95, the highest rating available in Guyana? This premium fuel is known to enhance the performance of your engine, making it run smoother and more efficiently, leading to better fuel economy and improved performance. Choose Super 95 for more mileage and better overall performance.
Introducing Jumbo Jet Auto Sales, your exclusive dealer for XCMG and Sinotruck. Only 20% down payment on all Ho-Oh Sinotrucks and 30% down payment on all XCMG with 6 to 24 months financing available. The only authorized dealer of XCMG and Sinotruck in Guyana. Various sizes in motor graders to excavators, compactors to skid steers, and wheel loaders. Not forgetting our amphibious. We have a wide selection of XCMG machinery to meet your needs. Explore our range of Sinotruck dumpers, including 8x4 twin steer, all-terrain 6x6, 6x4 models, and more. Plus, check out our cement mixers in 8x4 and 6x4 configurations. Drop by our various showrooms located at East Bank, Land of Canaan, Eccles, our head office in Georgetown, Ogle, and in Berbice, Chester, and Bushlot. Only 20% down payment on all Ho-Oh Sinotrucks and 30% down payment on all XCMG with 6 to 24 months financing available. Contact us on 225-8255, 232-0633, 233-3101, or 328-2802. Jumbo Jet Trucks and